Good morning. Frankie is banished because he's been out running in the mud. So he's outside or he's around the corner pouting. I don't know which. But I will join him in a little bit because I want to get outside and putz around in the dirt. And I have a ton of laundry to catch up on. So that's what I'm going to do today. But first, I'm going to read from my little daily reading book. And today it's on page 19 called Connection. Women need authentic and mutual connection. We've all had traumas of one kind or another. Times when the events of our lives felt overwhelming and we felt powerless to improve or change them. Or ruptures in meaningful relationships that created deep wounds inside of us. Living with trauma tends to breed emotional and psychological disconnection, both within the self and with others. In the absence of a true connection with self, we grab onto people, places, and things, creating an unhealthy connection with them. For example, we may attempt to connect to others in a way that does not allow us to be us and them to be them. We may alternate between fusion and disconnection, all or nothing. In our past, connection may have come to mean pain, rejection, and dashed hopes. We need to examine what connection has come to mean for us, understand it, and process all the feelings and meanings surrounding it. When we understand the anxiety and problematic expectations that keep us from being at peace in relationships, we can begin to work through them toward more comfortable connections. And then there's a little meditation down at the bottom. I will look within at what connection means for me. And then there's a quote from Margaret Mead in a speech from 75 saying, having someone wonder where you are when you don't come home at night is a very old human need. That's true. So what I'm going to encourage you to do today is to have things that smell good sitting around and have a daily reading book. There are so many out there. If you're Christian, there's Bible, there's Muslim, there's of course Eastern philosophies, Buddha, etc. There's great philosophers, daily Stoics. That guy. If you get bored and you want to hear some of the belief systems that I meditate on, there's a channel called The Daily Stoic, and when you bring him up, you'll bring up a lot of other channels that are similar that I like. So I'm gonna put this on because in my memory it was very moisturizing, and I have had, even with my castor oil, my skin has felt a little dry because I've been blowing my nose a lot, and I just don't have the time to do a long drawn out facial right now. I just didn't want to. So anyway, this is ta-da! That's what that is. So I'm just gonna put on a little bit of that. Yes, my sinuses. I've been taking, since I quit any alcohol or any addictive medications, I sometimes will forget to take my vitamins or my allergy stuff. I don't do it on purpose, and I have it in a daily medicine bottle. But the mucus, the sinus mucus, that pill need to take throughout the day a couple times. And so I don't always remember to go pick it up. And until now, to this moment, I didn't think, oh yeah, you know what? I could probably put them in a really pretty bottle. I just need to go find one and just set them out in different places, like my office or on the bathroom counter. Because I tend to put most things away off my counter. I don't like, I'm trying to cut back on clutter, and I certainly don't like the way medicine bottles look set out, especially on the occasion that there's company. I just don't want that kind of thing. I have a couple emails that I'm going to answer one of these days from y'all. Well, messages, comments. I will. I just have been kind of busy lately, and then my allergies just kind of wear me out. We have so much stuff floating in the air that, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 humongous trees and just in our yard. So, it's piles of stuff. I mean, little piles. These are weeping pencil willows trees. Weeping pencil willow or pencil oak. Something like that. I don't know. Anyway. I don't need a lot today because I'm not going anywhere. That's for sure. What are you going to do today? Are you going to have a good day today? Oh, so I was also going to add this. Some of us are loyal and committed based on that reading we just did. I like that reading. I like that reading a lot. I'm not going to delve into it, but I can tell you that I need to clean up I need to get more organized. Ruptures in meaningful relationships that created deep wounds inside of us. You know, when we've grown up in basically what feels like a loveless home, some of us decide that we'll do almost anything for love, or we'll do almost anything to avoid love. It's tricky. It's tricky, and it doesn't feel good. It feels like anger or fear or anxiety. Sometimes I've heard some people say they fall in love so fast. So for some people it feels like love. But when it starts crossing into the line of self-indulgence and self-inflicting pain, what's happening is it's almost like we're punishing ourselves by loving someone who can't give us love back. Like, see, my mom or my dad was right. I'm unworthy of love. See what I'm saying? Yeah. It makes it hard to see any relationship well in a way that is going to help solve the interrelational issues that are going on, because the brain is clouded by fear of loss. So that's why we let people misuse us, mistreat us, and take advantage of us. We're so afraid to be alone. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Look at that little bud. I mean, if it's working, don't fix what ain't broke. But I can tell you what happens with a lot of us is we'll take it and take it and take it until we can't take it anymore. And there's like this break where that other person knows one more, we're leaving. So they'll be nice for a while, until we soften up and start giving more, start feeling safe, start giving more, and then they pop off and do what they usually do. May not be as bad as the last time. So the brain is saying, well, it wasn't as bad as last time. And then it's another 5 years. It's another 6 months. It's another 3 weeks of the silent treatment, of sarcasm, of whatever, right? So just be aware of what's going on for you. Are you playing nice? Are you playing real? Or are you pretending to be strong? Pretending to be whatever, or trying to prove that you're smart, trying to prove that you're independent. If you have to have that oomph, ask yourself if you really, really, really need that today. Do you really need that extra oomph? Do you really need to prove anything to anybody? And even if you want to, do they really care? Come on. If you have to do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, do you think they really care? Nobody has memory that's that bad. Oh, you're trying to put your foot down? Oh, okay, I forgot that you did that 15 times ago. Come on. So, point is, your health is going to go downhill if you keep doing that kind of stress. And if you're older like me, well, by the time you get older, you're going to start feeling it. I know I do. Matter of fact, when was it? It was probably 10 years ago where I realized that I can love somebody, but if I know it's just going to be exhausting trying to work it out, I just don't have that much. I just don't want to work that hard. I just don't. And so what I've noticed today is once I've hit a place where I just don't want to work that hard anymore, I can just lean into being my genuine, authentic self and basically fall out of love with that person. People say, well, you can't fall out of love. Well, yeah. Yeah, you can. You can love in a different way. You don't have to love the same way over and over and over again when it continues to hurt. I've seen people say, I love you, but I'm not in love with you anymore. You know, that kind of thing. Which usually happens when somebody just kind of gets to a place where you can call love if you want, but it's more like you have made a mark in my life. You've been important in my life. I'm very attached to some of the things that have happened in my life with you. But man, I just don't even want to have a conversation with you anymore. I just want you to keep your mouth shut. Nod and smile, man. Yeah. I have some clients who, they just beat themselves up because they're not in love with their spouse anymore. Or they're afraid they won't be in love with their spouse anymore if their spouse doesn't change. Well, why? So it's true. People are going to change. I gotta give up on this one hair up here. I was using it for my arch when I do my eyebrows during the week, but it's just poking out there, and on my days off, I just don't like seeing that one hair up there. Always save a few eyebrows, even if they're thin. Save a few eyebrows that can mark your spots. That's one of the things that I am figuring out, is I need to connect the dots. That makes it easier for me to address my eyebrows. Where is that? Crazy? All right. So some of the things that we need when we're not feeling the love like we used to is to forgive ourselves. I know that sounds so hokey, and I hate saying it. We need to learn to forgive ourselves. Well, I don't know. What I know is, for some reason, some of us like to punish ourselves when we give up on a relationship. And I think it comes from feeling like nobody cared about us when we were young. They gave up on us. They thought we were stupid or ugly, and they just didn't come back for more. So we feel abandoned. Well, the thing is, and this is going to sound cruel, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. You know, sometimes we're just not attracted to someone else. Just because we feel wild chemistry, and it's so wild and it's so yummy that we think we're both feeling it, that's a misunderstanding. Just because we feel a certain way about somebody else doesn't mean they have anything going on at all for us. That took me a while to understand as well, right? So when we keep making the same relationship issue problems over and over and over again, I'll tell you what, as we get older, and you'll learn this if you're a young one, is these relationship issues get more and more expensive as you get older. And as you get older, at some point, sometimes you just say, Uncle, I'll stay. Or Uncle, I'll stay out. It's just too risky, too expensive, and it's just not worth it. So, there's always that. But the problem is, how do you stay healthy and relatively comfortable? Some people like to say happy. Hell, I just like comfortable. I don't even need to be happy. How are you going to get to that part? And sometimes it is sort of letting go a little bit of the strings that keep us tied in tightly. Sometimes we have to find a way to loosen up enough to where things don't hurt as bad. You know, just turn down the dial a little bit. Especially when you're a caretaker. Sometimes you gotta kind of take it with a grain of sand, you know, that whole. Or if you have kids, it's like, well, sometimes the greater good is making sure the kids are happy and stable, or that the person has a good caretaker. I mean, sometimes you have to decide what kind of person you are. Are you a compassionate giver? Or does it even matter that you're a compassionate giver because you're so unhappy, so miserable? There's a difference between being miserable and just saying we're miserable. Do you understand what I'm saying? Some people will say, I'm miserable, I'm miserable, I'm miserable, and yet turn around and continue spending money, doing drugs, over drinking, making themselves even more miserable, but nothing's actually getting done to help get them out of misery. That's a problem. That's where you want to really stop and say, wow, what am I doing here? I love to watch clients take control of at least part of their life, where they can say, now I'm independent, now I'm paying my own bills, or now I have separation and alimony, whatever it is, but that you're being able to live in a safe, lifestyle to where you're not being made miserable all the time. Or whether it's your kids or parents, you know, how much you're going to take. We can draw a line sometimes. And here's something too. I mean, I've done this myself, is where I'll say, okay, I'm going to go and do something because I'm so, I very often am naively forgiving. Somebody won't even apologize. They'll want to do something together. And that's part of my weakness. So I have to be able to go back and say, hey, I'm sorry. I know I made plans with you for next week, but I'm just not going to be able to go do that. Especially when it's a sacrifice to me. You know, it's not a big sacrifice to them, but it's a sacrifice to me. So sometimes you have to go, or if it's a commitment to money or chipping in on something. Oh yeah. I've overinvested in things before and thinking it'll matter. It doesn't matter. People don't care where they get their stuff. And if you don't give them their stuff, they're going to go get their own stuff. Well, give and give and give and give. I have a lot of people going through that right now, and it's kind of funny, too. I don't know if it's because Mother's Day is coming up or what. Or because, you know, most of the holidays have calmed down now for a little bit. We don't have another big holiday till 4th of July, I guess. But no big weddings going on right now that I know of. No graduations for us this year. Well, maybe there's one. I got to double check on that. For us. So I'm trying to think of what the alignment is. I think maybe it's social with all the news, people preparing to go to war, and all the military families. I do work with a lot of military. People are starting to kind of re-establish their, what would you call it? The power scales. That's about as close as I get. They're trying to decide who's in control of what. And some people are growing and trying to stretch their wings kind of thing. It's all a great experiment anyway. It doesn't matter. Enjoy the journey. It's okay. Nobody said you had to do it perfectly. Well, that's a bunch of jibber jabber. Get me all fucked up and excited about laundry and digging in the dirt. And probably cleaning out some things. It's time to... I think my big thing is, and this is what I keep coming back to recently, is where am I wasting time? Where am I spending too much time and energy on something that doesn't feel as productive? Matter of fact, this is going to sound like a little thing, but there are some things that I just don't enjoy doing anymore. I have withdrawn from several clubs because I was just doing too much. And my body, my brain, my soul wants to just calm down, slow down. You can do that too. Sometimes when we have family members that are involved in a lot of things, whether it's your kids or grandkids or your spouse or lots of people in your family that have a lot going on. Sometimes we have to start saying, sometimes some of us have to start saying, I am not going to go to any more football games. I'm sorry. Unless it's the last game of the year or a special game. I'm not going to go to all those dance recitals unless it's the last one of the year or one very extra, very exciting. Because I'm going to tell you what happens. These kids are spending all this money on these different projects that you're not benefiting from. You're sitting there on a hard-ass bench or a cold theater or whatever it is, missing a whole day of working in your garden or catching up on your laundry or reading a good book. And they're not going to really always care that you went to every game or went to everything, especially if you're not the parent. If you're the parent, that's different. I'm talking about people who aren't immediate relatives and even grandparents. You know, sometimes it's okay to say no. And even if you are a parent, here's some of the things that my parents are going through. And they've been going through this since COVID. I mean, I've always seen it before COVID, but now I'm starting to see it again now after COVID. Is they're like, oh, I want to get these kids involved in everything. Oh, excuse me. I want to get them involved, start socializing, start living their life. Well, I can tell you this. Money only goes so far. Come on, folks. Being in 6 different sports or 2 different sports, 3 different sports, and then 2 different instruments or one instrument and then gymnastics or chess club or, 6 different. Okay. When are you supposed to breathe? It's okay to say no to a kid sometimes. Even a kid you love. Sorry, that's just the truth. It's like it's okay to say no to a friend who you are glad you're friends, but you just kind of need a break. Yeah. How much are you investing in hoping the relationship is working out? You don't have to hope. Just be genuine. General. I wonder why I said general. So if you're just, the general rule is, right, the just about, so you're not getting overinvested. Maybe that's why I said general. Freudian slips are interesting if you look into them. Okay. So, what else? I guess I'm done jibber jabbering. I just love that I'm connecting with you, and I hope you're having a great day. And I will talk to you soon. All right. Bye for now. Mwah.